I'm Roger Lane, and I'm chairman of the House Redistricting Committee. I'd like to welcome all of y'all here for this joint meeting of the House and Senate Redistricting Committees. To begin with, we'd like to thank Brenau University for making this great facility available to us. And we'd like the president of the university to make a few comments before we start to welcome everybody here. President Ed Schrader.
Thank you very much. Well, we just want to welcome our elected representatives and the interested public and our other elected representatives who are not on the committee. Brenau's been around for about 130 years and seen a variety of apportionments, redistricting, and representation changes. And, you know, the nice thing about it, the state of Georgia keeps going. We thank you all for participating in the public process and welcome you to our campus. And I hope you'll return, especially with your college-age children. So thank you very much. I know y'all have worked hard to be here, and you've got a lot under your belt. So congratulations for a great job.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having us. And now I would like to have the members of the House Redistricting Committee introduce themselves to the audience, and then we'll let the Senate do the same. And tell them where you're from, Representative Black.
I'm Ellis Black. I'm from District 174, which is right down on the Florida line. You tell everybody I represent everything between Metcalf and Fargo. And if that tells you anything, that tells me you real country.
Good evening. I'm Lynn Smith, House District 70. That's Noonan, Georgia, western part of Coweta County, and a small part of Heard. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, and good evening, everyone. I'm Ed Reinders, House District 152. I represent parts of Daugherty, Lee, Worth, and Colquitt counties in beautiful southwest Georgia.
I'm John Yates. I represent District 73 as part of Spalding, Henry, and Fayette County down just south of here. Thank you.
While he's up, we'd like to recognize him. We missed him last night. Up in Dalton, Representative Yates is 90 years young, and he is the last surviving World War II veteran who serves in the Georgia House of Representatives.
I'm Ron May. I represent House District 91, which includes parts of DeKalb and Henry counties. Good to be here.
I'm Henry Wayne Howard from Augusta, Georgia, House District 121. That's Richmond County in the west part, more the east part of the state. Thank you. Good to be here.
And I'm Barbara Reese, House District 11. To the east, over on the Alabama line, Chattooga, and a good portion of Floyd County.
Do we have any other House members who are on the redistricting committee who are sitting out in the audience somewhere? I don't see any. Okay. I guess it'd be appropriate this time we have other House members here, and we'd like y'all to be recognized. I'd like to recognize Carl Rogers first. He helped set this up and put a lot of work into it. And while I'm doing some thank yous for what all happened here, I'd like to thank Darrell Morris and Jim Barco and Josh Burgess and Eleanor Kahn and Martin Bennett, who helped set all this up for us today. So let's give them a big hand.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's my pleasure to host the committee, and Jim Barco and Ed Schrader, Brenau University were very gracious to do that here in Gainesville. Welcome to Gainesville, Hall County. This is the 26th House District that I represent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Doug Collins. I represent the 27th House District, which is North Hall County, about a third of White County, and a little bit of Lumpkin County.
I'm Tommy Benton, and I represent District 31. That's most of Jackson, a little bit of Barrow, and a pretty good-sized chunk of Hall County.
Good evening. I'm Steve Allison. I represent the Northeast Georgia Mountains, District 8, which is Union County, Towns County, Raven County, and the northernmost districts in White County.
District, which is the southern part of Forsyth County.
And now Senator Seaball, who chairs the Senate Redistricting Committee, can introduce himself and then any senators who are present.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Again, my name is Mitch Seaball, and I chair the Senate Reapportionment Redistricting Committee. My district includes Coweta County, Carroll County, Heard County, and northern part of Troup County. And I believe, as I see, we have one member of the Senate Reapportionment Redistricting Committee that's with us.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Ed Harbis, and I represent Muskogee County, Columbus, Fort Benning, and Chattahoochee County. Glad to be here. Thank you.
And in the Senate, we also have a war hero. Senator Harbison did 3 tours of duty in Vietnam and is a Purple Heart recipient. Is there any other members of the Senate Reapportionment Redistricting Committee that I have just not located yet? I do know that we do have other members of the Senate, and I'd like for them to stand and be recognized. And would first like to recognize Senator Butch Miller, our host senator for us today. Thank you very much for all of your hospitality.
Thank you, Senator Seaball. My name is Butch Miller, and I represent the 49th District. That's Hall County and Jackson County, west of I-85, basically. I'd like to also recognize my predecessor and my mentor, Lee Hawkins, right over here, the former senator. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Frank Ginn. They call me Sawmill. I represent over in the northeast side of the state, over just north of Athens, make a horseshoe around Athens. But one of the things, I'm actually Butch Miller's cleanup guy on his cars. So if y'all haven't bought a Honda today, come see Milton Martin Honda and see Butch, my friend Butch Miller.
I hate following that. I'm Steve Gooch. I'm from Dahlonega, just up the road here. I represent the 51st District. I see a lot of my constituents in the room. I represent part of Forsyth, Dawson, Lumpkin, White, Union, Fannin, Gilmer, and Pickens counties. Thank y'all.
Are there any other members of the Senate that we haven't just located just yet? With that, Mr. Chairman, turn it back over to you. Thank you.
Anybody else want to stand and be recognized? Here we go. We got some members. We got some committee members who have arrived. I missed you down there, Representative.
Makes it real hard to sneak in. I'm Tom Dixon, representative from Whitfield County. My District 6 has parts of Whitfield, Murray, and Catoosa counties. I'm glad to be here.
If you would, at this time, please give a round of applause to the representatives and senators who've traveled from around Georgia to be here to listen to you all this afternoon. They've attended, this is our 11th public hearing, and we're proud of the attendance and the attention they've been paying to these. So would you give them a round of applause, please? The purpose of this meeting is for us to get input from you, the citizens of this area, as to how you feel redistricting should be done, not only in your area, but for the whole state. Usually when we get together with our constituents, we do all the talking, and so far we have done a little bit. But tonight our purpose is not for the representatives or the senators to do the talking, but we want to hear from you. We want to hear what you have on your mind, and that's the purpose of this hearing. A little bit of background. Every 10 years, the U.S. Constitution requires a census to be taken, and of the population of the United States and of each state and each subdivision. And then based upon that census of population, all districts that are based on population have to be redrawn every 10 years. So these two committees, the House and the Senate committee, are responsible for redrawing the House districts. There's 180 House districts that will be redrawn. The state Senate districts will be 56 of those redrawn. Congressional districts will be redrawn, and we have a new district. We gained a district based on the population, so we'll have 14 congressional districts that will be redrawn in this process. And then the Public Service Commission, which a lot of us forget about sometimes, they're also based on population. They have 5 districts, and those will be redrawn. What our committees don't do, we don't redraw the county commission districts, the city council districts, or the school board districts, or any other local districts that have to be redrawn. That's based on your local folks do that. So that's not what we're here for, and that's not what we do. Since we have a number of people who signed up to speak, we want to hear from everybody who wants to speak to us. So we limit the time that you have to 3 minutes each. We appreciate you holding it to 3 minutes, and you get a prize if you don't use up the whole 3 minutes. We'll give you an award so that everybody can speak that wants to. Now, use all the 3 minutes, please. We do want to hear from you. These proceedings, this is our 11th public hearing, and they've all been videotaped, and they're all archived. And you can go on and see this one within 24 hours. It'll be on the internet, and you can go on the internet to www.legis.ga.gov, which is our Georgia General Assembly website, and click on the joint hearings, and you'll be able to pull up the video and see everything that's been said, not only in this meeting, but in all the meetings around the state, if you want to do that. Many of you have already signed up to speak. If anybody who's arrived that hasn't signed up, please see someone outside and sign up, and we'll get you up here as soon as we can get to you. We're going to be here until 7 o'clock. One housekeeping matter, we all have cell phones. If you would put those on off or vibrate so that it doesn't go off during someone's presentation and they throw a microphone or something, we'd appreciate that. With that, I think we're about ready to start. Did I miss anything, Mr. Chairman? We're going to call you up two at a time. We're going to have one that will be speaking over here to the microphone, and I'd suggest you speak to the committee members and to us, but the committee members are the ones who are going to be making the decisions once the maps a bill's been drawn that has the districts on them. This committee will be the one that will be debating and listening to the public on those maps. So speak to them and speak to us, but particularly to the committee members. Then the second person that we call up will be on deck, so that when the first one gets done, the second one will be ready to go, and we'll move through this pretty fast. If we run out of speakers before 7 o'clock, we may take a break and wait for others who may arrive late. We stay here until 7 o'clock because that's what the hearing is set up for, 5 to 7. If we leave before that and someone shows up, they'll be looking for us. So we're going to be here at 7 o'clock. So with that, we'll start calling the first two speakers, Ken Young and Travis Turner. And if you would, when you go to the microphone, introduce yourself and where you're from.
All right, very good. My name is Ken Young. I live in Winder, Barrow County, Georgia, and I want to thank each of you for the hard work that you've done and what you're doing and what you will be doing this August to try to make sense of all of this and this redistricting. I currently reside in the State House District 108, that's Terry England's district, and State Senate District 47. I'm the current chairman of the Barrow County Republican Party. Well, I appreciate you listening to our input tonight. We appreciate the service and representation that we've had over the years from State Representative Terry England, State Representative Tommy Benton, State Senator Ralph Hudgens, and now our State Senator Frank Ginn. We believe that the upcoming redistricting must preserve our community ties and result in representation that reflects our voters and Barrow County values. We've looked at the numbers. We know, we try to want to have the whole county together, but we know that's not going to be possible this time. Many of us support a State House district with Representative England representing a majority of the Barrow County district. That will be a reduced district from his current district due to population growth. If a part of Barrow County must be in a House district apart from Representative England's new district, then we would hope that you consider perhaps putting the southern portion of Barrow County, that's the Bethlehem area, with Walton County, or perhaps suggesting the eastern part of Bexar County, the Statham area, with parts of Walton, Jackson, or Coney County. We feel that these options will result in House representation that would be more in line with the values of Bexar County voters. Regarding the state Senate districts, we know that the numbers are just going to cause some significant changes for us. And it may be that our current District 47 is going to be changed more to the north and the east. If that's the case, then we would certainly be open to a closer district to us. And if we are in a situation where we're involved with 2 Senate districts, then we'd ask your consideration to support representation from Walton and Oconee and Jackson County to go with that portion of Bexar County that might be closest to it. And we thank you for your time and for your kind consideration for this input. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Young. Travis Turner. And on deck will be Myra Norman.
All right. Travis Turner, Chairman, White County Board of Commissioners, Representative Senators. First of all, on behalf of the citizens of White County, I want to say thank you for allowing us the opportunity to come and, bring our thoughts, our ideas to you. As you're aware, White County several years ago was split apart in several different areas. In particular, we currently have 3 representative districts and 2 state Senate districts. We have great relationships with Senator Butterworth, Senator Gooch, as well as Representatives Collins, Allison, and Austin. But having said that, I realize that anytime you go through a redistricting process, that there are times that sometimes some communities, some counties, due to population, will have to be split apart. To give you a long story short, I'd like to see White County be brought, I guess this may not be grammatically correct, be brought more back whole again. Whether that's drawn back down to perhaps 2 representatives and two representatives and 1 senator, that would be great. Like I said, we've had great relationships with those we've had, but that's our desire, and we appreciate your time, and thank you again. And I will be done under the 3 minutes, and what kind of gift do I get?
We'll have it at the door for you.
I've heard that before. Thank you. Y'all have a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Turner. Appreciate you. Myra Norman, and on deck, Dorothy Shaw.
Okay. I just want to ask that you keep in mind the basic principles that are supposed to be applied in redrawing districts, such as fairness, transparency, and equality. And the reason that can make a difference is the area that I live in has a very diverse mix of people. I live in the Gwinnett County area over near Forsyth County, which is commonly known as Duluth, Berkeley Lake. And you have a very diverse population there, partially because there's a high concentration of apartments, and then you have the homeowners. And even the homeowners, you have some people that would be considered solidly middle class and upper middle class. So if you skew that area one way or the other, there can very easily be a misrepresentation of the people in that area. There's a great deal of transient communities with the transient citizens with the apartments, and those people are more interested in things that are going to help their day-to-day living situations, such as good transportation. If you are a person that's an upper income person, it's not an issue that impacts you. But if you are a lower to middle income person, these are significant issues. And these things affect people's ability to function independently. I don't think anyone wants people living off the government unnecessarily. But when you draw districts that unfairly allow the affluent to have more say over people that are less affluent, you do impact people's ability to live day to day. And you do put people in situations where they are less likely, maybe because if you pass a law that favors property management, which that is currently on the books right now, it forces people to have to spend more for their day-to-day living expenses, and they're more likely to fall into situations where they have to look to the state government for handouts. Not because they want a handout, because they're paying more possibly for, I think right now the thing that's going on with apartment complexes is they're charged everything they can push onto renters they are doing. Things that traditionally were beneficial for living in apartments, such as not having to pay your utilities and your trash disposals, they're pushing those things onto the residents. So what happens is you have less money to help you get to the point where you can buy your own property. And when you do have economic downturns, it is people are put in situations where they're paying so much for their basic living expenses, they don't have money to do things like maybe repair the cars the way they should. And people that are on the roads with slick tires are a danger to everyone. So I just ask that you keep these principles in mind so that everybody is fairly represented.
Thank you, Ms. Norman. We appreciate you. Next will be Dorothy Shaw, followed by Betty Holland.
Thank you very much. I am from South Gwinnett, and I've lived there since 2000. And I am the bottom of the map. And you could just look at the map and you could see and cut across and take 78, US 78 across there and draw a line across there. All of the precincts that are south of 78, that includes Stone Mountain, one little short part of Lilburn, and Snellville, unincorporated Snellville, and two new areas that I think have had a lot of growth, which are in Loganville, the only two precincts that are in Gwinnett County. All of these have more in common with each other because they shop in the same areas. The Loganville people go more toward Gwinnett, toward Snellville, and the school board district is divided that way. School board District 4 includes, of course, it includes some above 78, and we don't have any objection to that. But right now, we are represented, especially in the House, we have 3 different representatives in that area, in that unincorporated area that I'm talking about. And I would just like to see us, if we could, have one representative who represented that whole area. I think we have more in common, and like the gentleman who has already spoken said, that we have the value, that it would represent the same values, that we are a diverse community, and we do have a lot in common, and we're not that we have anything against a city, but a city of Snellville, but none of what I was saying, that most of us would not be in the city of Snellville. And so I would like for that to be considered. Now, if they do decide, that it has to go into another county, I think that those of us in 95 have felt represented by the Rockdale County person in District 95, so that we're not all cut up and going all around. We're nearer to Rockdale as far as the proximity is concerned. And our Senate, we're being represented mostly, all of us, by the same Senate senator. So, and that is combined with a cab, and that has not been a bad thing.
Time's up. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Next will be Betty Holland, and followed by Sylvia Turnage.
Good evening. I'm Betty Holland. I'm from Dawson County. I just have a few general statements to make about the reapportionment process. The key words fairness, transparency, and equality have already been stated, and I'd like to reiterate those key words. First, the reapportionment process must be fairly applied to all voters. Districts must neither be overly compact nor overly extended. It is unfair, for example, to create districts with an unusually high concentration of demographically similar voters. A packed district is unfair to both the included and the excluded. Voters should be able to define their own communities. The maps should reflect the city and county lines and communities in a consistent way. Maps should not be distorted either by the state or by local political issues. Maps should reflect accurately our voting patterns. In transparency, we must have the map drawing process both fair and open. There must be transparency in every aspect of the process. Citizens need to review, and their input is critical, and we thank you for the opportunity for input this evening. Citizen input cannot happen only once during the hearings. Georgians must be given the opportunity to comment on the proposed maps and react to the recommended lines. Principles used to draw districts must be equally applied throughout the state and across the maps. These principles must be applied statewide, not regionally. Reapportionment must be applied to all voters. Citizens should be able to define their own communities. Voters are all equal under the Constitution, and the purpose of reapportionment is not to favor the election of any political party. Principles used to draw the maps must apply to the state and the state Senate, and not to any special cause. I thank you for your time, and I hope that you will consider fairness, transparency, and equality throughout the reapportionment process. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Holland. Next, Sylvia Turnage, followed by Billy Turnage. Double teaming us here.
That's right. I am Sylvia Turnage, and I'm from Union County, Georgia, which is up all the way up at the North Carolina line. There are a lot of things you'll be thinking about as you're drawing the maps this summer. And one of the things that I hope that you'll be thinking about the most is what the Constitution, both the U.S. and the Georgia Constitutions, require you to do. First, the Equal Protection Clause requires you to make sure the maps reflect one person, one vote. So I would like to see you draw the districts so that we're all in districts of about the same size, as the speaker just ahead of me said. Please don't repeat the mistake of the last redistricting when Democrats packed all the Republicans into districts so that they could try to save Democratic districts where there weren't enough people to have a district. Second, our state constitution says the districts have to be contiguous so that you can get to any point in the district without ever leaving it. Every redistricting before the last time, that meant something. It meant that the district was a true whole and not connected by just water or a 10-foot strip of land. And this happened in Union County. Some of you may remember when we had the tiny little strip at the north end of Union County. So my request to you is, please follow the spirit of the contiguous requirement. Thank you.
Thank you. Billy Turnage, followed by Frank Locke.
Thank you. Thank you very much. My name is Billy Turnage. I'm from Blairsville, Georgia, Union County, and we appreciate y'all considering this issue. I know y'all have a lot on your plate, and you will have throughout the process, but we do believe that y'all will do an open and forthright job in this process, and we ask that you continue to do that, and we would appreciate that you would keep the public informed and allow open forums as you are doing here throughout the process, and I believe that will mean a lot when the final analysis is completed. I think the public will probably be very happy with the process if y'all continue the way you're going now. And as referred to by the previous speaker, we did have in Union County about 3 houses up in the upper corner of the Union County, and that was a very difficult situation. There was only, they were not sure if they belonged to Union County or North Carolina or Tennessee. So I hope that y'all will be considerate and understand that it's very important to keep our districts intact, and that you will respect that, and that you will do the very best you can in preserving our voter integrity, and that you will keep all of our districts as compact as you can throughout our districts and our county and our state. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Turnage. If we could, let's hold the applause till we get finished, just for time's sake. Frank Locke, followed by Ethan Underwood.
I'm a resident of Hall County. We're grateful that you are here. The commission needs to work as public servants and do what is best for our country and state, and not what is best for any political party. The redistricting map should reflect commonality of interest. That is, elected officials should easily be able to represent the interests of the citizens who elect them. The districts outlined on the map should have a recognizable and easily described shape. As I look, all of you have a recognizable shape, not necessarily a good one for a district, but you get my meaning. The districts outlined on the map should be compact, and we also invite the commission to return to Hall County with a preliminary map so that it may provide additional input. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Locke. Ethan Underwood, followed by Ralph Stepp.
Good evening. My name is Ethan Underwood, and I serve as the chairman of the Forsyth County Republican Party. We are here to support fair delineation of political districts that group citizens with common interests and needs. Over the last 20 years, Forsyth County has experienced phenomenal growth. Many of our new residents have relocated from areas of the state and areas of the nation that have been plagued with poor governmental policies. Consequently, Forsyth County has developed into a strongly conservative area that tends to vote for Republican candidates by a margin of 3-1. Now, I tell you this not to brag or to alienate the Democratic members of the committee, but I tell you this to illustrate that we have experience in what can happen when communities are divided into political districts with uncommon interests. Forsyth County began voting Republican when the state government was firmly in the hands of Democrats, and we were punished for it. When money for road improvements and technical and adult education was allocated from the state, Forsyth County was overlooked, and we are now playing catch-up for infrastructure improvements that should have been performed 20 years ago to facilitate the growth trends that were evident even then. Forsyth County's primary needs from the state are for roads to handle our traffic, school funding to handle our still growing population of students, and water treatment facilities and permits. Despite this, almost a quarter of our county is in the same House district and state Senate district as rural Northeast Georgia counties, in which many communities are actively lobbying against the expansion of the very infrastructure improvements that we badly need in Forsyth County. Now, we have nothing but praise for each member of our state delegation. However, several of our members have the unenviable task of representing constituencies with very different interests in whether the state assists in infrastructure improvements, putting them in a situation where they have to choose which group to support, possibly to the detriment of the other. With regard to the development of our congressional district, most of our Forsyth County is presently located in the 9th district, with 3 of our voting precincts in the 7th. The separation of these 3 precincts has left them isolated with the rest of the from the rest of the county, yet with very little influence in the 7th district. As Forsyth County has continued to develop and grow, it is important that the county be left whole in its congressional district in order to facilitate a common vision for the entire county. Forsyth County is not simply a trove of faithful Republican votes to be divided between other communities wanting to build up power. Forsyth County is a community that must be left whole so that we can use our strength to solve the issues we face in the wake of our recent development. Moreover, we believe one of the most pressing federal issues we face is whether we'll be able to get water from Lake Lanier. It is important that Forsyth County be allowed to remain in a congressional district that can focus on protecting our right to access water in this lake. In summary, we ask that the General Assembly locate all of Forsyth County in a single congressional district with the counties on the west side of Lake Lanier that are dealing with the same transportation and water supply issues as Forsyth County. With regard to our state House and state Senate districts, we request that these districts be drawn to facilitate representatives and senators that will help us accommodate our growth and our infrastructure needs. If state districts must include portions of other counties, we believe the counties that are most similar in demographic and dealing with issues are Cherokee, Pickens, Dawson, and Hall.
Thank you very much.
Request to be grouped with these counties. Thank you.
Thank you. Next will be Ralph Stepp, followed by Steve Boschel.
Greetings and welcome to Northern Georgia. As a member of the South Forsyth community, I looked at the Constitution and I don't see any place in it where it says use anything other than population for redistricting. We've had court systems that says you must redistrict it according to the rules of the court. But we've had the largest growth of any district in the whole state, and that's something like 42.6%. That should be rewarded. Whether we vote Republican or Democrat, the population growth is there, and it should be rewarded by having their own representative. We're getting an increase in 55 and over people in the Forsyth community. They should be taken into account. We need to keep Forsyth, as you've heard, whole and complete. And the loyalty of the Forsyth Republicans should be rewarded. We should be seeing that our vote, our way of doing things, and our loyalty to the Republican Party is rewarded in its whole. I thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Stepp. Next be Steve Voschel, and followed by Richard Ward. Hope I got that right, Steve.
You got it right. First time in my life, I think, that I went through the entire school and never got a teacher that got it right, but it is Voschel.
It happens.
Committee members, fellow citizens, I'm Steve Voschel with the Forsyth County Tea Party. We have a very large following in Forsyth. We're also active in the Forsyth County GOP. Our number one priority is making sure that Forsyth County, given our growth and our location, is kept whole in the congressional district, but also in the House rep districts that we have here in the state. Currently, we've got 3, but we've only got 1 that is totally in Forsyth. The other ones leak into Cherokee, and then a small portion goes all the way up into Dawsonville. So certainly we have enough population for all 3 of those to be located in Forsyth. But from a citizen activist group, it's much, much easier for us to work with our elected officials if we have 1 congressman to call versus 3 congressmen to call. We have the unique situation that we straddle 4 different congressional districts. So I don't envy your position up there, but I think it's important that the backroom deals and everything be put aside and the thing be done right so that the county lines, as much as possible, are kept whole, not just for Forsyth, but across the state. That counties who have elected officials in those counties, the citizens need to be able to go to their state reps as well as their congressional reps as a whole county to be able to have influence over them. Thank you.
Thank you. Richard Ward, followed by Brad Wilkins.
My name is Richard Ward. I also am from Forsyth County. My primary request is that all of Forsyth County be kept together in 1 congressional district. My second and last request is that if Forsyth County is separated from the existing 9th district, my request is that we be put in a new district including Forsyth, Hall, Bartow, and as much of Cherokee County as possible. Thank you.
Thank you. Brad Wilkins, followed by Jim Harrell.
Yes, good evening. My name is Brad Wilkins. Thank you very much to our senators and House of Representative members. I have no written speech. You've already heard a lot about Forsyth County from the last few voters. I am also proudly from Forsyth County. And I just wanted to sort of add a little flavor to what they've already said. Obviously, you know about the growth in Forsyth County. You know about our strong voting record. We put up about 56% of our voters vote. We vote a little over 80% Republican. You already know that. Something you may not be thinking about, though, is Forsyth County is very unique in the sense that we have 1 municipality. We have a very shared economy up and down the entire county. We are much more unified than many of the other counties you've heard about before. You've heard just from some of the other counties earlier. We don't have multiple city centers. We have 1 economy, 1 municipality. Our biggest issue at a federal level is water. For Forsyth County, water is almost an existential threat to our future growth, and very few other counties can say that as strongly as we can. We need representatives that understand those unique issues, that are prepared to vote for them and to defend our needs. And as such, we need Forsyth County to be whole, together as much as possible, especially at the congressional level. Thank you.
Thank you. Jim Harrell, followed by Craig Bryant.
Good evening. I'm Jim Harrell from Forsyth County. I'm a former county commissioner. also former county GOP chair. And although we fuss and fight a little bit during the primaries in our county, we have a well-earned reputation for pulling together, working hard, and getting people to the polls to vote. And I think that's a goal that we all share. I hope that you will consider keeping Forsyth County intact in the congressional district, and I appreciate your consideration. Thank you for being here this evening.
Thank you. Next will be Craig Bryant, followed by Pierce Halsey.
Good evening. I'm Craig Bryant, County Commissioner from White County. First of all, I want to thank all the senators and reps for coming and taking your time out of the day. Unless you've ever been an elected official, you don't realize how much time it takes to do the job, and I do, and I appreciate y'all's time. Second, I'm going to follow up to Chairman Turner. We have 3 representatives and 2 senators, and we get along real great with them. But in White County, we've got a problem, and I'm just speaking from what citizens are telling me. I've been blessed to serve the county for 9 years. All 3 of our reps and both our senators, if they don't get the single vote in White County, they can still win. So we're asking, like I say, if we can be combined to 2 senators, 2 reps, like I say, we have a great working relationship with what we got. But the experience I've had over the last 9 years, 6, 7 years ago, we had an issue come up and we wanted to send it to the legislature and have it voted on. One of the representatives refused to do it. So I personally called the other 2, and they said, well, if the senior rep, if he don't want to do it, it don't get done. So my question is, if I have 3 reps and one represents the whole county and stops whatever they don't want done, why do I have 3? So we're just asking for help in White County.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Next will be Beth Weichel, followed by Chuck Luca. I got those. I got both of those. I did good.
You did very well. I'm Beth Buffington Weichel from Hall County, poultry capital of the world. So we welcome y'all. So stay and eat some chicken. Spend the night, and please spend your money here. Thank you very much. We have great representation, as you well know, and we're hoping for an all-Hall district again. I just have one particular concern. Tommy Benton's been our representative and done a good job. I'm from a farming community precinct in Hall County, and we have a dangle where there's just 1 or 2 precincts, and I'm sure this occurs across the state. But when you have a legislative district and you have a single or just 2 precincts dangling in another county, it minimizes our electability of a candidate from our precincts. So having talked with the legislators, we hope to get back into Hall County, but I just caution in the future when you're drawing these legislative maps to have a single or a double precinct, because we feel like it takes away some of our electable power. Thanks so much, and again, nice to have you.
Thank you. Yeah. Next, Chuck Luca, followed by Dwayne Turner.
Good afternoon. My name is Chuck Luca. I'm from Towns County, Young Harris, and we're represented by Senator Jim Butterworth and Representative Steve Allison. I would just like to thank the committee for the hard work ahead of you. I hope that you will follow the Constitution as much as possible and use only population as a criteria for dividing up the state as necessary. The one thing that I ask you to do is try to keep precincts with similar concerns together. For instance, we're right next to Union County. We're both northern mountainous communities, yet we are in two different districts. And like I say, I'd just like you to keep in mind that this is an awesome task, and please be fair.
Thank you. Dwayne Turner, followed by LaDawn Jones.
Yes, I'm Dwayne Turner. I'm from White County, Cleveland, Georgia. I'm from the 10th District, 10th House District, and from the 51st Senate District. White County is made up of the 10th, the 8th, and the 27th of the House seats. And we're made up of the 51st and the 50th of the Senate. And we have 5 representatives and 1 small community county in the mountains here. Population is about 27,000 now as of this last census. We feel like we should be given a consideration of being made whole, as we've never been that way in the past. And White County feels like, a lot of times, like we feel like we're the doorstep when it comes to redistricting, because we're always that county that's put in the middle, and we're the ones that's we're the ones that's used as a piecemeal to make the other districts work. And we have no voice. I mean, we have great representation, but we don't have a voice. We feel like, as a whole, we need one. And in our Senate side, we're divided up into the 50 and the 51st. We have one precinct in the 51st, in the 50th Senate district. I mean, that would be an easy fix, it looks like to me, to remove that one precinct and put us as a whole as a Senate. Like I said, our population is about 27,000. We would like to be matched up with another county similar size as ours. We feel like, and I know that the chore that you have faced before you is immense in trying to make it all work, but we feel like our neighbors to the west, which is Lumpkin County, is of similar size. They're also on the east side of the mountain range as we are. They have the same type challenges and issues that we face on a day-to-day basis. And we think that that would be a good match. We would like for you guys to consider that and see if that's a possibility of keeping the two counties as a whole. Thank you for listening, and we thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Turner. LaDawn Jones, followed by Nate Jones.
Good evening. My name is LaDawn Blackett Jones. I am a resident of South Fulton County. The Honorable Ms. Beasley Teague is my representative in District 65. I am coming before you today as the eyes and the ears of those in South Fulton County. We are so proud that our area has grown by leaps and bounds over the last 10 years. Ms. Beasley Teague's area has grown to a population of about 75,000. The surrounding District 63 is about 70,000, 66 about 61,000, District 67 about 63,000, District 68 about 65,000. As that indicates, all of those districts in that area have grown quite a bit. And we think that at this reapportionment time, it would be a great time to create a new district in that area. That new district would be able to be contiguous among Fulton County and some of East Douglas County residents. It would properly represent the voters in that area and give us all an opportunity. As you all know, according to the Ashcroft ruling, it will allow us to all participate in the political process and create an influential district where it doesn't divide on party lines. And so we ask that this board and all the committee members take that into consideration. Thank you.
Thank you. Nate Jones, followed by Mike Miller.
Hello, thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak. My name is Nate Jones. I'm representing South Fulton, unincorporated Fulton County. I'm coming here basically to request that during the redistricting you consider South Fulton and the enormous population growth, specifically District 65, 63, 67, 66. These areas have experienced large population growth. We've built schools to accommodate an increase in our population. I think during the redistricting, you consider what's best for the citizens of South Fulton and unincorporated Fulton County. Also, I request that you draw the district lines that can better fit and better represent the citizens of South Fulton. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Mike Miller, followed by Wayne Blackett.
Good evening. I'm Mike Miller, Mayor of Flowery Branch, Georgia. Welcome to Hall County. I would ask two simple things. First, to keep Flowery Branch whole as a one community. We've become the second largest municipality in Hall County. And along those lines, we would like to stay with Hall County, not be grouped in with maybe a South Forsyth district or a North Gwinnett district, to keep the Hall County district as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you. Wayne Blackett, followed by Yoshika Tagami.
Hi, thanks for having me here. I'm Wayne Blackett. I'm from the 65th District in South Fulton County. I think you've heard everything that was said already about our population growth. That area is right there, a couple of blocks from the airport. Most of you pass right by my house all the time. You happen to see the growth yourself. Each of these districts, the 63, 65, 66, 67, and 68, have over 53,000 people. We ask that in this redistricting time that you consider that and consider East Douglasville as part of it, and so we can spread this district out a little bit more. Thank you.
Yoshiko Tagami, and followed by Tom McGrath.
Hello, my name is Yoshiko Tagami. I'm from Barrow County. First of all, I apologize for walking in late. We left about 3:30 and we got lost on campus, but now that that is out of the way, I like to say that many of our friends and neighbors could not make it today because it started at 5, and people cannot leave office that early. So luckily I'm retired, so I could be here. I like to be on the record that I live in an unincorporated area of Barrow County, right outskirts of Winder, and I like to be our community to be included with West Clark County. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Tom McGrath, followed by Dwight Joy. Something, I think I got there.
Honorable ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tom McGrath. My remarks will be brief. We came up from Barrow County, from the city of Winder, earlier today to tell the board that the people of Barrow County, let me say many of them. I can't presume to speak for all of them, but many of the people of Barrow County want Barrow County to be severed from Gwinnett and joined with Athens Clark because we see similar interests between the two. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Dwight, looks like Joy, AC. Anybody? Anybody named Dwight want to speak? I can't read it all the way across either. Okay, we'll move on to Amanda Nixon, followed by Bill Morrison.
My name is Amanda Nixon, and I'm also from Forsyth County, and I also represent the 9th District. As first vice chair, I will keep it very brief. I really appreciate everything that y'all are doing, and very prayerful and hopeful that the Constitution will be #1 priority, that we are considered as one vote per person, as it is laid out in the Constitution. As far as Forsyth County is concerned, and there have been a lot of speculative maps floating around the internet, of course, we've all seen a million at this point. But I think our concern, and it goes into district lines as well, is that we have a lot in common with, the folks in Hall County and, of course, other people in our district. But we are very, very concerned about our water issues, and being a federal issue, and that we need to keep this district together, and considering those contiguous lines throughout the district. Thank you for everything that you do, and we appreciate you.
Thank you. Bill Morrison, followed by Eileen Myers.
Bill Morrison. I've lived in Hall County all my life. I want to thank Senator Miller for doing this, and Representative Rogers and Benton and Mills. Y'all are doing a great job, and Doug Collins. Just simply, you already know this, but try to keep all the counties intact. I think everybody wants that. Certainly, Hall County wants to do that. And also, I would love to have Hall County stay in the 9th District. and we would be happy to stay in the 9th District with Forsyth County. We think alike. Our friends in Atlanta, they're our friends, but we don't think like they do. We're kind of more of a rural community. So if you just keep that in consideration, and we certainly have already elected a wonderful congressman in Tom Graves, and we would like to keep him as our representative in Hall County. So if y'all consider that, we'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Morrison. Eileen Myers, followed by Pam Norman.
Is it okay if Dwight steps in? He had to step out for a minute, but he's back.
Sure.
Thank you.
Dwight, we found you.
Sorry for missing my call. The restroom call came quicker. Sorry.
Would you give us your name and where you're from, please, sir?
My name is Dwight Acey, and I'm from Barrow County, and I want to thank you for an opportunity to speak before you. Our community should be, in my opinion, a part of West Clark County, and I hope you'll consider that. The reasoning is that we do a lot of shopping there, so we have connections with people there. Our medical offices are often there. A lot of us work there. We have friends and family there. So I think the state district looks more like what goes on in West Clark County for Barrow County. So please consider that. The other thing is I want to point out that I was concerned about the time that this was held, 5 to 7. Also notice in my county, I don't remember seeing it in the paper, and I would like to find out when it was in the paper and which paper it was in, and what amount of time that we had for notice. We could have spoken at the Athens meeting had we got notice at that time. However, Athens, we weren't able to speak at that meeting because we didn't get the notice that we could speak then. Athens would have been closer for us than to have to come all the way to Gainesville or some of the other venues like Savannah or Valdosta. The other thing is, you may not be able to answer this or may not feel that it's in line with your mission today to answer this, but I would like to know at some point how you came up with 12 meetings and how you determined the locations of the meetings. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Next be Eileen Myers, followed by Pam Norman.
Hey, I'm Eileen Myers from Barrow County, and I've been looking at the maps out in the lobby, and I got to see them at Athens also. And I was wondering, and I talked to people at Athens, but I didn't speak because I didn't know at all what to expect. And I was wondering how some of these, and I was looking at the maps out here, how some of these districts are so spread out that even if it were very compact by population, I think that's how they're going to be decided, it would be very hard to even equate what's needed in one district with what's in another. But it would be nice if they were, one district I'm in is a crescent, and Athens, like Dwight said, was not part of it. West Athens isn't, but East Athens is. I found that out at the Athens gathering. And it's like, we don't go over to West Athens very much or up to Hall. It would be nice if people you run into, if you're going to speak politics, would know who you're talking about, and maybe where our representative lived and those. That would be nice. Oh, and this is the joke. Did y'all study hard, whoever picked this spot, that it's not on the GPS or whatever the things are? Was that I hope there's, good. No problem. Good. Thank you.
Thank you. Pam Norman, followed by Sharon Gunter.
Hi, I'm Pam Norman. I'm from Hall County. I support what many of the previous speakers have requested here today. I would like to ask that you allow for input on the suggested maps once they're completed. And as one of the previous speakers just said, perhaps more times and later in the evening, because it is a challenge for some of us to get off work to leave early to be able to attend these. So later in the evening would be most helpful. I also believe that districts should reflect contiguous communities with similar population counts rather than some of the seemingly gerrymandered districts that we have seen on previous maps. The legislators, we would expect you as our representatives to be selfless in drawing the districts rather than protecting your own or your friends or your party's districts. It's not popular, but it is the right thing to do. And I would remind you that you are our voice, and this is about us. And I would also recommend no multi-member districts, and above all, to follow the state constitution and the federal constitution as you're drawing these lines. Thank you.
Thank you. Sharon Gunter, followed by Thomas Jennings.
I'm Sharon Gunter. I'm from Forsyth County, Cumming, Georgia. I am the Forsyth County Democratic Chair, and I'm also a delegate to the state party. I'd like to thank you all for your time and great effort that it takes to do this and the opportunity to have town hall meetings. I know this is a daunting task, but we would like just for you to remember that we want fair representation of all demographics. We would like our county to be in one congressional district. We do have a major concern with water, I'm sure, as you have heard from the Republicans. We may have differences of opinion of who we would like to represent us, but we have the same issues. We want it to be considered. We would like logical boundaries, preferably county boundaries. These jigsaw pieces, they don't work. They don't work putting a puzzle together, and they don't work putting people together. But whatever guidelines that you use, we would like it to be consistent across the state. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Next will be Thomas Jennings. That's the last one we have signed up right now. If anybody else has signed up, we'll go to them. If not, we'll take a break after Mr. Jennings.
I, too, got a little turned around trying to get here. When I got to 500 Washington Street, that was only the beginning. I'm with the Barrow County Chamber of Commerce as its president. I do have a handout that I've prepared for each of you with copies for aides, if you'd like. If you would allow me, I'd rather read what I've got rather than trying to think it, because sometimes it gets lost. This comes from our Government Affairs Committee of the Barrow County Chamber of Commerce. The committee believes that Representative Terry England to be an asset of Barrow County, and that Barrow County has flourished during his time. The committee desires to see Representative England continue to represent the majority of Barrow County, understanding that due to the growth in the county, his district will be reduced. The committee desires that Representative's district continue throughout most of western Barrow County. Representative Tommy Benton has served Barrow County with distinction, and the Chamber appreciates his loyalty and his service and support in the area of Barrow County throughout his term. The committee's desire, however, is to have Representative England contain as much of Barrow County as is practical. Given Representative England's constraints, the committee would like to see eastern Barrow County aligned with either western Athens-Clarke County or Oconee County. The connectivity with the eastern end of the 316 corridor, along with the connectivity with Athens-Clarke and Oconee County within the Joint Bioscience Development Authority, and the Innovation Crescent, and the desire to see Barrow County grow as a destination for the life sciences, makes great sense for the outlook with that connectivity. For the Senate District, the committee realizes that Representative Frank Ginn has done a wonderful job for Barrow County, and the committee is deeply appreciative of his work here for Barrow County. Representative Ginn has been a tireless worker and a tireless supporter for everything Barrow County. Given the growth in population, however, the committee recognizes the fact that there may be changes. Therefore, as the committee desires to see Barrow County be considered for representation from an adjoining county in both the eastern and western sections of the county, again in consideration within the 316 corridor, we would urge consideration for Senator Ginn to continue with that connectivity if possible between both the eastern end with Athens Clarke and also representation connecting us with Gwinnett County. Alignment with these counties enhances the connectivity on the eastern end, and alignment with Gwinnett County will do the same on the western end. It enhances the development and growth from the west and connects Barrow County to both the Athens area and the booming metro Atlanta area. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Terry Goodger, followed by Rebecca Yarborough.
I'm Terry Goodger, Commissioner from White County, and I just wanted to reiterate what my other colleagues in White County have said. White County seems to be a county that was in play last time, and I suspect that we might be in play again to fill out districts. We anticipate that we'll probably be in a new congressional district. We have 2 Senate districts, and as it was stated previously, there's only 1 precinct in our county in one of those. We have 3 House seats, and we're really blessed to have some great people to serve in those positions, but we have 27,000 people in White County, and that's about enough for 1/2 of a House district, as I understand it. And I don't think that any county in the state, irregardless of how you have to move them around, should have to have more than 2 representatives unless they have a large district that warrants more. We don't want to be just a fill-in county to fill in someone else's political district. And I'd like for you to consider White County and making us whole as much as possible. I know that you have a big job to do, and the numbers are very difficult to move around sometimes, but I would like for you to consider making White County whole. Thank you.
Thank you. Rebecca Yarborough, followed by Kelly Persons.
Good afternoon. My name is Rebecca Yarborough, and I'm the current chairwoman for the White County Republican Party. As you've just heard from one of our county commissioners, White County does have a population of 27,000 people, and it is represented in the legislature by 3 representatives and 2 senators. However, with our last redistricting, we became the most carved-up county in the 9th District, and we, the citizens, are asking that you, the representatives and senators of the redistricting committee, carefully consider the new lines that are being redrawn as you diligently seek from our request to make our county whole. Many reasons present themselves for this purpose, but none more prevalent than it is time for the citizens of White County to have a united voice. While many see a benefit to our current districting, it is our desire to see our constituents grouped together as one county, as we are a community with like-minded interests, needs, and an economic base. With our current outline of 3 representatives and 2 senators who have represented us well and we have been pleased to have, we lacked an electable voice in our legislative body because we are the county that our legislators need the least to be elected to office. And while we recognize that you have a difficult task ahead of you as you seek to use fairness, transparency, and equality to draw these new maps, we ask that you remember the voters of White County and our request to have a united voice in the legislative body of the great state of Georgia. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Kelly Persons.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Kelly Persons, and I'm with the League of Women Voters of Georgia, and I'm also here as a member of the Georgia Redistricting Alliance. First, I would like to say that we appreciate this opportunity to be able to speak on the principles that should guide redistricting. Unfortunately, without draft maps available, we're just left to speak in the abstract. So the Georgia Redistricting Alliance is a coalition of nonprofit, nonpartisan organizations with the shared goal of ensuring transparency and fairness in the redistricting process. Our coalition strives to engage and educate citizens, work in partnership with our elected officials, and submit a fair, balanced map to the Georgia General Assembly. We did create 5 fair and equitable standards that we would like to see used in the redistricting process. The first one, no plan or district shall be drawn with the intent to favor or disfavor a political party or incumbent. Districts shall not be drawn with the intent or result of denying or abridging equal opportunity of minorities. Districts shall consist of contiguous territories, and to the extent feasible, districts shall be compact. Pursuant to the principle of one person, one vote, districts shall be as equal in population as possible. And where feasible, apportionment plans shall make use of existing city, county, and geographical boundaries and similar communities of interest. There are 2 things that concern our organization as we have been going through this redistricting process. The first one is who is serving the public. When the Legislative and Congressional Office was housed at the University of Georgia Carl Vinson Institute, it was open to the public. They could go and see the maps being drawn. They could see draft maps. The current Legislative and Congressional District does not serve the public and only serves the legislature. The second concern is the choice of general counsel selected by this committee. While we sure that Ms. Ann Lewis is a fine lawyer, and I actually believe she's in the room this evening, but she also does provide services to a political party of this state. And we see that as a potential conflict of interest, if not a straight out conflict of interest. And thank you for your time today.
Thank you. That's the last speaker we have signed up right now, so we're going to take a break until 6:30. And then we'll come back and see if any other speakers who've arrived or anybody in the audience who would like to sign up on the break. We'd be glad to hear from you. Thank you. All right, everybody, we're going to reconvene in 4 minutes. Reconvene in 4 minutes. And we have some entertainment. Senator Seaball is going to tap dance for us, so everybody get back in 4 minutes. For anybody who wants to sign up, nobody has signed up to speak to us, but we're still eagerly anticipating anybody who wants to speak to us before we adjourn. We do have some members of the committees who have shown up, and if they're in the room, we'd like to get a microphone to you. Is Jeremy?
Why don't we get everybody back in?
Let's get everybody back inside, and then we'll let them introduce themselves for the audience and for the record.
See, we knew about getting everybody back in.
I know we have some House members here who haven't been introduced yet. If we could have y'all's attention over there, Mr. Chairman. Has Jeremy come back with a microphone so we can? Oh, there we go, right in front of me. If you stand and introduce yourself and tell us the district you represent and what counties are involved, we'd appreciate it.
So, Mr. Chairman, I got to go first, huh?
Well, you got selected. That's
I
an honor.
appreciate that. I'm Rick Austin, and I represent the 10th district, which is all of Habersham and about 50% of White County, and pleased to be here. And you already done? Thank you.
And anybody else? Oh, we got two members up here, two of the members of the committee. Okay.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Representative Sharon Beasley Teague, and I represent the 65th House District in South Fulton County, Union City, Palmetto, Fairburn, Unincorporated, College Park, East Point, and a part of Atlanta. Thank you.
Thank you. State Representative Mac Jackson from District 142, which is Washington County, Jefferson County, a portion of Johnson, Emmanuel, and Burke. Thank you, and it's good to be here.
Anybody else? I know I've seen some other members, but I guess they're outside. That's all the folks we have signed up to speak. So I think at this time, unless there's objection, I'm going to turn it over to Senator Seaball to make some closing comments. and then we will retire for dinner or whatever happens after we get through here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to recognize that Senator Jack Murphy came in after our introductions. Glad to have you here. We appreciate everybody coming out to the meeting today and giving us the opportunity to hear what is on your mind, the consideration that we need to take as we go about this process. We have one public hearing left, and that will be in Atlanta on June 30th. And so if you know of anybody that has any interest, they can come to that meeting. Again, want to reemphasize that there is plenty of opportunity for citizens to give their input to the General Assembly as we go through this process, even beyond the public hearings. We have the website. As the chairman said earlier, that website is www.legis.ga.gov. You can go in there and you can give your comments. Let me say also it's very important that your elected representative and your elected senator hear your comments, because they're the ones that will be ultimately voting on these maps. So you can contact their offices to make sure that they know what you believe needs to be considered as we go through this process. You can also write letters to the chairman and myself, any member of the committee, to make sure that you get your comments in. We will come into special session on August 15th. The first call of special session will be for the purpose of drawing the State House and the State Senate maps. We will go through and we will ultimately pass those. We cannot tell you exactly when we will come up with a final map, because the bottom line is it's like any other piece of legislation. You have to have 29 votes in the Senate to pass a map there, and you have to have 91 votes in the House to pass that. So in going through and putting the pieces of the puzzle together and working with communities and working with members of the General Assembly, it is a very difficult task in trying to make sure that we get the pieces put together that gives us the types of maps that we can be proud of in the state of Georgia. So we come in August 15th, a special session. Even then, you have an opportunity whenever maps come out to attend committee meetings, to contact either myself or the chairman of the House or your members and give them your comments on that. So there will be plenty of opportunity for the public to continue to be part of this process as we go through and do this. With that, I would like for those that are here from the State House and the State Senate staffers who showed up early and made sure that everything was hooked up and had everything ready for us to have a meeting that many of us had no way of recognizing all the effort they put through. If you would stand up and raise your hand, let us recognize you at this time. House Senators. With that, I want to thank again the community of Gainesville for hosting us, and our host senators and House members, and to everybody else, thank you very much for coming out and letting us have the opportunity of your wisdom. We are adjourned.